right now, Star Trek superstars $170 million love child claim. The son of an actress mom boldly goes where no man has gone before, firing torpedo claims. The Star Trek superstar Captain Kirk is his biological father. That the lead star of Star Trek, Boston Legal, T.J. Hooker, and of course Priceline has an affair with his mom, and now, years later, he is demanding nearly $200 million. But is he trying to live long and prosper from a fake connection?
In a newly revealed lawsuit, a Florida man is claiming Star Trek hero
in my cabin is a device that will make you invincible.
William Shatner is his biological father and is demanding he take a paternity test.
No, he's apparently a lovely man who's in need of a father.
That's on CBS TV distribution and 102.5 The Bone Radio. With me, Alexis Terrestriak, Chris Spargo, Matt Zarrell, and Peter Shatner, who says his father is William Shatner, a.k.a. Captain Kirk. First to you, Peter Shatner. You claim William Shatner is your father. Now, are you going by Peter Sloan or Peter Shatner?
Peter Shatner essentially is my stage name, if you will. My legal name is Peter Sloan.
I just want to give you a word to the wise. Don't say that in front of the jury, okay? Because if you say Peter Shatner is my stage name, that's going to suggest that you're acting, and they're not going to like that. Let's go all the way back to your mom. Why do you think Shatner is your dad, Mr. Sloan?
Well, in 1984, I had basically gotten back together with my first adoptive father, George Orrick, who at the time was the writer for ABC News 2020. And George had suggested that perhaps it would be interesting to find out who my natural parents were. And so that eventually led to finding my mother in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, and then my mother told me that my father was William Shatner.
Everybody, you're seeing Star Trek from CBS TV distribution. With me, the man, Peter Sloan, a.k.a. Peter Shatner, who says that Kirk is his father. You know what? Let's see a little Star Trek. Roll it, Justin.
2, 1, impact.
That is Star Trek from CBS TV distribution. Okay, Alexis Terrestriak, senior reporter, RadarOnline.com. What do you make of the claims? And that's a fine. How do you do? Hi, Dad. Can I have $200 million?
It is. I mean, it's a huge claim. And not only is he suing his dad, he's suing his publicist and the production company all around him, but it seems to be that he doesn't have any evidence that he's provided, that he has no birth certificate, anything that would connect it to William Shatner.
That's Star Trek again from CBS TV distribution. Let's see some T.J. Hooker or some Boston Legal. Okay, Mr. Sloan, did you hear what Alexis Terrestriak says? She says you don't have any proof. But your answer, let me guess, is if you take the DNA test, I might have some proof.
Well, it's obviously, it's obvious that a DNA test would confirm it. But that's not why I think that. I think it because my mother said so, and I think it because since 1984, I've done my own background check to find evidence, whether it be positive or negative, and every step of the way, it's indicated that he's my father. There's no question about it, including right down to the person who...
You go ahead, sir.
Including right down to the very moment that it happened.
Everybody, there is William Shatner on T.J. Hooker, Sony Pictures TV. Chris Spargo, DailyMail.com, also joining us. Chris, now, isn't it true, while Mr. Sloan says Shatner, Captain Kirk, invited him to the set, another guy in the business says that's not what happened at all, that they set up a meet and greet. And the photos that Mr. Sloan has is from a meet and greet, not of Shatner meeting his long-lost son.
That's true, yes. More recently, photos that were produced of Peter and his alleged father, Mr. Shatner, were from a meet and greet that he paid money to get, according to representatives from Mr. Shatner.
There's the photo. Dr. Maroney, how difficult would it be to take a swab. Isn't it an oral swab? It's like putting a Q-tip in your mouth. That's how you get the DNA test?
That's exactly what we do. We go inside the mouth, we whip it around, you get cells from inside the mouth, then on those cells, you send them off. DNA from the nucleus of the cell is sent off, and we would compare.
And that's all there is to it.
Shatner.
You know, let's say Shatner in Boston Legal. Roll it, Justin.
In a men's room. Don't you just love that? Another family values advocate looking to use another man's private part as a sipping.
Gee, I wonder who that's supposed to be. That's a clip from Boston Legal, 20th Century Fox. Okay, this is what I don't get. Mr. Sloan, I know that Shatner has, I think, 3 daughters, and he is very loving toward them. Why do you believe he would refuse to acknowledge you?
I have no idea, frankly. In 1984, I met with him in his trailer on the set of T.J. Hooker, and he embraced me, in fact, and then invited me the following week to go on set for another filming of T.J. Hooker. So everything seemed like it was on a good track at that point, and it wasn't until I came home from L.A. and, I called him at home. I had his home number, and I was kind of rebuffed, and he hung up. And then within a few days, I got a call from a representative, Mr. Brody, who basically said that although they believed the story to be true, that it would be devastating for Mr. Shatner and me, for whatever reason, if it were to go public. And so I kept quiet about it for years.
Now, Matt Zarrell, everybody, that's William Shatner for Priceline.com. Matt Zarrell, it seems to me that Captain Kirk, a.k.a. William Shatner, has a response to everything Sloan is claiming. What does he say happened in that trailer at that meet and greet?
Well, what he says is that he says he is completely not the father, that there's a whole discrepancy over the meeting in L.A., whether it happened the way that Mr. Sloan says it does. Shatner has reiterated repeatedly he is not the father of Mr. Sloan.
And another thing, a tough question, Mr. Sloan. Peter Sloan joining us, also known as Peter Shatner. Mr. Shatner, let me see Mr. Shatner, please. Or Mr. Sloan. Question. You're suing for $170 million. Now, if you really believe this is your father, why would you do that?
Well, this is pretty much the only option I have left. And frankly, since the article came out that was written by Paul Guzzo in the Tampa Tribune, I've gotten nothing but attacked by him and his handlers, including his publicist. And I'll be darned if I'm going to sit by and stand for people calling me a liar.